republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Corman?
Here.
Mr. Taylor?
Here.
Mr. Zwicker?
Here.
Ms. Breyer?
Here.
Mr. Prince?
Here.
Mr. Person?
Here.
Ms. Palmer?
Here.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, all present.
Thank you, Bonnie. First item on the agenda is we have several proclamations.
Proclamation, Farmers Market Week. Whereas Washington's farmers make an essential contribution to our local communities and to the well-being of our citizens, and whereas the Renton Farmers Market at the Piazza is celebrating its 12th year of operation, open each Tuesday and until September 24th from 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock p.m. in Renton's beautiful downtown Piazza Park. And whereas the Farmers Market program in Renton is dedicated to supporting Washington's family farms and to providing opportunities for the citizens of Renton and surrounding communities to meet local producers and gain access to the bounty of Washington-grown products in all their diversity, fresh from the family farm. And whereas the Farmers Market at the Piazza benefits local businesses and contributes to economic vitality by attracting thousands of potential patrons each week, and whereas the Farmers Market benefits those in need by providing donations to the local food bank, and whereas the congenial atmosphere of the Farmers Market in Renton appeals to citizens of all ages and ethnic backgrounds, creates a positive social experience, and provides nutritional and economic benefits, whereas we recognize that farmers markets are key to changing food choices that people make, giving people opportunities to replace fast food, high-calorie meals with fruits and vegetables that are a key factor, along with exercising to a healthier well-being. Now therefore I, Dennis Law, Mayor of the City of Renton, do hereby proclaim the week of August 4th through 10th, 2013 to be Farmers Market Week in the City of Renton, and I urge all citizens to join me in recognizing the many benefits of our local farmers market. In witness whereof, I've hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Renton to be affixed this 5th day of August, 2013.
Mr. Mayor.
By Dennis Law, Mayor of the City of Renton.
Yes, Mr. Taylor.
I move that the proclamation be adopted as read.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Taylor, seconded by Ms. Palmer, that the proclamation be adopted as read. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. It's my pleasure to present this to our Farmers Market Coordinator, Carrie Olson, and also Brian Larson, who's the president of the Piazza Renton Group.
Mr. Mayor, council members, thank you all for your continued support of the Renton Farmers Market. I also wanted to take a chance to thank the members of the Piazza Renton Group for their volunteerism and ensuring the market goes every year so smoothly, and as well as our wonderful vendors that continue to come back and sell their goods year after year. Thank you to everyone.
Thanks, Carrie.
And on behalf of the Piazza Renton Group and all of its volunteers that have been working the market for over 12 years now, we want to thank you for this recognition of the farmers and the activities down there. Along with the vendors and the other things that go on, we have talent down there on entertainment at 5:30. We have some great Taste of Renton where different restaurants come in and give you a sample of what they have so you can recognize some of their food and see what they do at their restaurants and maybe go there. So it's a great event. We have a lot of people and we have a lot of fun down there. So come on down, folks, and enjoy the farmers market, and especially tomorrow. It's Tuesday, market day.
That's
Thanks
right.
to all of you.
Thanks. I should mention tomorrow Congressman Adam Smith will also be visiting the market, so. Okay, Bonnie?
Next proclamation is for National Night Out. Whereas the National Association of Town Watch, NATW, and Target Corporation are sponsoring a unique nationwide crime, drug, and violence prevention program on August 6, 2013, entitled National Night Out, and whereas the 30th Annual National Night Out provides a unique opportunity for the City of Renton to join forces with thousands of other communities across the country in promoting cooperative police-community crime prevention efforts. And whereas the City of Renton plays a vital role in assisting the Renton Police Department through joint crime, drug, and violence prevention efforts in the community and is supporting National Night Out locally, and whereas it is essential that all citizens of the City of Renton be aware of the importance of crime prevention programs and the impact their participation can have on reducing crime, drugs, and violence in the community. Whereas police, community partnerships, neighborhood safety, awareness, and cooperation are important themes of the National Night Out program, and whereas National Night Out is a great way for residents to meet and socialize with their neighbors, which builds community and strengthens neighborhood bonds. Now therefore I, Dennis Law, Mayor of the City of Renton, do hereby proclaim August 6, 2013 to be National Night Out 2013 in the City of Renton, and I encourage all citizens to help give crime and drugs a going-away party by participating in a 30th Annual National Night Out event. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Renton to be affixed this 5th day of August 2013, signed Dennis Law, Mayor of the City of Renton.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Ms.
I
Breyer.
move that council concur with this proclamation.
Second.
It's been moved by Ms. Breyer, seconded by Mr. Prince, that council concur with this proclamation. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. My pleasure to present this to Cindy Parks, who does everything to make this a successful event.
A little slow on the old pickup. Here we go.
Well, I want to say thank you for Council's continuing support for the National Night Out program, as well as Mayor Law. This is our 6th year having the large city event. We also have private neighborhoods that have registered to have their own little events in their neck of the woods. This is growing by leaps and bounds every year, and I think it shows that there's a real interest in having this sort of opportunity to come out and have this real casual sort of atmosphere and event where the citizens can come out and have a lot of fun, the kids can come and play, we can interact with council folks and department heads and Mayor Law, and I think it's really turned into a huge benefit for the city. The last 5 years, the city actually has received an award for their population category each time, and I think that is not without the help of community services, the picnic crew up at the shops, and of course the support of my own department. So I wanted to say thank you very much. I know I'm going to see several of you out there. So Philip Onward Park tomorrow from 4 to 7:30, National Night Out. I hope everybody can join us. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Cindy.
Thanks.
Well, next we have a very special presentation. I'd like to have Kirby Untie come up to the podium, if you wouldn't mind. This is a spot where he's usually pretty comfortable.
They're doing offering, are we?
I just wanted to start off, we're going to do things a little different here. We do have a special proclamation for Kirby, and everybody here in the room knows Kirby Untie and the tremendous contributions that he has made to this community. I just want to say that the council and I are honored to have you here tonight to be able to recognize the tremendous things you've done in this community for the last 33 years. It's hard to put it on paper. We've tried, and Bonnie in a few minutes is going to read some of it, but it is tremendous, and it's hard to really quantify, unless you've known Kirby for a lot of years, the difference that this town is because of his commitment to this city. So it's significant, and I thought a proclamation would be good, but we also wanted to present you with something a little more symbolic. And we haven't done this very often, but I want to present you with a key to the city. Not to my office, but it's one to the...
One, two, three. Thank you.
We're going to read a proclamation, then you can say, okay. Why, you can go ahead.
Proclamation, Kirby Ante Day. Whereas for the past 33 years, Reverend Kirby Ante has been the pastor of St. Matthew's Lutheran Church in the Highlands, and whereas Reverend Ante was ordained pastor of St. Matthew's Lutheran Church on the very same day Mount St. Helens erupted, though he claims there's absolutely no correlation between the two events. And whereas Reverend Ante has been a part of the highly passionate team of people who long to make the church relevant to the people who live in our community. And whereas Reverend Ante has been an invaluable and extremely dedicated leader in this community for over 3 decades. And whereas Reverend Ante has served on a number of boards and local service organizations, including Renton Rotary, Renton Chamber of Commerce, Renton Technical College, Valley Medical Center Citizen Advisory Board, and the King County Sexual Assault Resource Center. And whereas Reverend Ante was a huge supporter and founding board member of both the Communities and Schools of Renton and the Renton Community Foundation. And whereas Reverend Ante has comforted many as a chaplain for the city's fire and police departments for many years. And whereas Reverend Ante has unselfishly served as a budget advisory committee member for the city of Renton, whereas Reverend Ante was recognized as a Renton Citizen of the Year in 2007, and whereas Reverend Ante turned his dream of doing something outside the boundaries of the church into reality by being the driving force behind establishing Luther's Table here in downtown Renton. And whereas Reverend Ante was a key player in building the extraordinary Compass Veterans Center, Renton, that provides 58 housing units to homeless veterans and their families, giving back to those who've served our country. And whereas Reverend Ante partnered in the development of Grace Chinese Lutheran Church of South King County, and whereas Reverend Ante has for decades been a motivational speaker and trainer, touching the lives of thousands of people throughout this community. And whereas Reverend Ante has been involved in some of the most important milestones of people's lives, including officiating at numerous weddings and personally baptizing 1,244 people during his tenure as pastor of St. Matthew's. And whereas Reverend Ante, when he's not serving in his many capacities as pastor and community leader, enjoys spending his spare time plying the waters of Lake Washington and beyond aboard his cherished vessel, Gratitude. And whereas Reverend Ante has been a loving husband to wife Kim and to this day has survived raising 4 beautiful daughters in a household of 5 women. And whereas Reverend Ante, who was elected May 18, 2013, to a 6-year term as Bishop of the Northwest Washington Synod of the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America, ELCA, leaves behind a legacy of community partnerships that were created while he was at St. Matthew's. Now therefore I, Dennis Law, Mayor of the City of Renton, do hereby proclaim August 5th, 2013 to be Kirby Ante Day in the City of Renton, and I encourage all citizens to join me in this special observance. In witness whereof, I've herein set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Renton to be affixed this 5th day of August, 2013, signed Dennis Law, Mayor of the City of Renton.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Ms. Breyer.
I move the council concur with this proclamation.
Second.
It's been moved by Ms. Breyer, seconded by Mr. Corman, that council concur with this proclamation. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Before I bring this up to you, I did want to make note, and then everybody can applause. I know that started to happen. We're really pleased. We have the school superintendent, school board members, Valley Medical Center CEO, Renton Technical College CEO. We have Valley Medical board members here, and as well as the council to honor you this evening. So it's a good showing. And we have King Parker.
Well, Mr. Mayor and City Council people, heartfelt appreciation for this acknowledgement. Gratitude is the name of our boat. It's also how our family feels about the privilege of being able to grow up in this community together. I hardly recognize what was read, and the reason is it only happens because of what is the spirit of Renton, and that is phenomenal collaboration. When we work together, you know, not against one another, but together for the same mission of the city, we can all accomplish incredible goals and opportunities for the community. So again, a heartfelt thanks and a real shout out to my family. You know, I get the recognition, but I'm here to tell you that I've had a wonderful bride in Kim, and our 4 daughters have really stood behind the work that we've done together. So gratitude is the right word. And rumor has it that the key also will fit a particular Mustang. I'm going to go find out.
Kirby.
Shortest speeches I've ever heard.
I have to get my one.
Okay, now we're going to move on to the more mundane part of the evening. We have a public meeting, a Madison annexation. Sorry about that, Angie. I didn't mean that personally at all.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Yep, this is the more mundane part of the meeting. Sorry that I get to follow that up, and that was quite an honor. Tonight I'm here to talk about an annexation that has been submitted to our city clerk, and it's proposed being called the Madison annexation. So we're pretty early on in this process, just getting started as a matter of fact. They've submitted their 10% petition to the city clerk, and now we're here before you guys to meet with you and talk about what they've proposed. So state law requires this meeting. That's what we're doing here. You guys get to decide whether you want to accept, reject, or geographically modify this annexation as it's proposed. If you do accept it, then you would then in turn authorize them to circulate the direct petition for where they sign 60% to annex. And then you would also decide whether or not to require simultaneous adoption of zoning. So this is in our East Plateau area. You can see that it's sort of located over there by Maplewood Park, just to the east and a little bit south of that. It's within our potential annexation area, again at the eastern portion. It's in our East Plateau Community Planning Area, about 11 acres in size. Right now it's only single-family land and vacant land. There's a few houses on it, but it's largely vacant land. The northern boundary is just a parcel line, but it's near Southeast 138th Place. The eastern boundary uses 156th Avenue Southeast. The south, again, is just a parcel line, but it's located near Southeast 139th Place, and the west uses 152nd, another roadway. So here's an aerial shot. You can see that it really is just a lot of vacant land with just a handful of houses located on it, and a lot of open space. So we always look at the environmental conditions and what the existing conditions in the area are. There's really no slopes to mention of. There's just a very small pocket of slopes that are roughly 15 to 25% located in those 2 smaller parcels towards the center. We look at streams and wetlands to see if there's any direct environmental constraints. There's a small class 3 stream that's located there to the south. It's about 1,000 feet away. It's an unnamed stream, so that really wouldn't have any direct impact on this little small annexation area as it is. There's no wetlands in that area either. Public services, it's currently served by Fire District 25, which is served under contract with the City of Renton, but Renton Fire and Emergency Services would just serve that directly if the annexation were to proceed. Utilities, it's served by Water District 90 and Renton Sewer Utility. That would not change upon annexation. It's located in the Renton School District, and that also is something that wouldn't change if the area annexed. In King County, the area is designated in their comprehensive plan as urban residential medium, which would allow 4 to 12 dwelling units per acre, and they have it designated with R4 zoning. In the city of Renton, on our comprehensive plan, it's designated as residential low density, and we actually, a number of years ago, did pre-zoning on this area in anticipation of that East Renton Plateau vote, And so it has been pre-zoned with R4 zoning. If the area comes in that zoning, then it would become effective upon annexation. So we aren't required to have any additional public hearings with that. It would just come into place if it does come into the city. We always look at our annexation policies as adopted in our comprehensive plan. We have an objective and a policy specifically that relate to this. The objective calls for support of annexation of county areas that are in our PAA and can efficiently be provided with infrastructure and services, are urban separators, or have environmental constraints. This area can be efficiently provided with those services and infrastructure. Our policy says that we should promote annexation of areas with a residential population who already use our services or who impact our infrastructure. And there are roadways that are controlled by the city that directly lead in and out of this area, so this policy also is appropriate. We also look at the Boundary Review Board. This is one of the steps that we would take, is send it off to them and ask them to review it. So ahead of time, we look at their objectives and see if this fits in with what they would look at it for. They look for annexations that use physical boundaries, including but not limited to bodies of water, highways, and land contours. This one uses parcel lines and roadways, so that's an appropriate, it meets that objective. They look for the creation or preservation of logical service areas. In this case, those are previously agreed to and would be unchanged. They look for the prevention of abnormally irregular boundaries. This is almost a perfect rectangle with some slight adjustments, so it's a very regular boundary. And for annexation of unincorporated areas to cities that are urban in character, and Renton is indeed an urban city. We always look at a fiscal analysis. So the current conditions, there's only 4 dwellings in this annexation area, so we estimate there's about 11 residents. In the future, if that area were to build out over a 10-year time horizon with that R4 zoning, we estimate that there might be as many as 36 additional dwelling units with an additional population of about 100 additional residents. We also have adjusted our assumptions that we annually increase the costs at about 3.3% for the fiscal analysis, with revenue just increasing at 2.5%, and that's then limited to sales tax, utility tax, and a franchise fee for those increases. So for the operating fund at existing development as it sits with none of those additional households or residents, the revenues are about $7,500 with costs being about $6,000. If that were to go to full build out in 10 years with those escalations in interest rates and stuff, then that would be about $84,000 for the revenues and costs at about $55,000. Capital enterprise funds existing about $500 and costs at about $100. At the 10-year build-out, revenues at about $15,500 and costs at about $8,500. Okay, oh, there we go, sorry. So we always also then route these around when they've been submitted so that all the different various departments that would have to provide services to these areas have the opportunity to review the annexation as it's proposed and make comments. And so those departments had the opportunity and they replied, and everybody said that indeed this represents a logical extension of their services. In conclusion, this does represent our interests and general welfare of the city, and they're served by this annexation. That represents a logical extension of our city services. It's consistent with our annexation policies as adopted in our comprehensive plan, and it's also consistent with our Boundary Review Board criteria that we review. Therefore, the recommendation is by the administration is that council go ahead and authorize the circulation of that 60% direct petition to those property owners and specify that they accept the city's comprehensive plan land use designation as well as our zoning.
Thank you, Angie. Any questions from council? Madam Clerk, do we have any correspondence?
No correspondence, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, this is a public hearing. We do have, well, we may have 2 people that want to testify. George, Bill, did you want to testify on this annexation? Okay. Marvin Betts. Okay, if you just come to the podium, give your name and city of residence for the record, and you have 5 minutes, and there's a timer right next to the city clerk.
Okay, my name's Mark Bettis. I live just slightly south on 154th, which is the main road going right down the middle of the annexation proposal. The road that I live on is my major concern. I don't have anything against developers, and I don't have anything against the city of Renton yet. But I put the road in 35 years ago, 36 years ago, and I put it in according to King County's requirements. They came out and inspected the road more than they came out and inspected the house that I built. And as far as I know, they declared it a King County maintained road. But King County has not showed up for roughly 35 years. I've complained to them a couple of times, and their last solution was to move the King County maintained road sign from the end of the road where the southern boundary of the annexation is, 600 feet south. So they didn't have to maintain the 600 feet. It's a gravel road. I know that the annexation is being done for the purposes of developing the properties developing the properties within the annexation. And my problem is that will open up that 600 foot of gravel road to what she said, 100 homes or whatever, 100 people. So I'm the one that maintains that road along with 6 or 8 of my neighbors that live along that road. And it's been that way for, like I said, 35 years. And I'm afraid that giving all that access to that road is going to be completely unmaintainable. King County refuses to maintain it. I can't maintain it for that kind of traffic. We can barely maintain it now for the 8 homes that live along it. I don't know what the solution to the problem is. At one time, talking to some of the developers, I proposed that maybe we could get a deal where we could block it off and just not allow access from the north on that road. The problem is I've seen that happen before, where they attempted to block roads and somebody will come in and complain and say, we need access because this is not our private road or our property. This is King County property that this road is on. And so if the citizens complain that they want access, they'll get access. The other problem that I have with it is if the fire department comes in and says, no, we can't have that road blocked off, we got to get through there in case of fire, then there goes my block the road idea. So it's going to be a real problem for us if there's a development that happens and 30 or 40 houses get built up in there and they use that road as access. I don't know, like I say, I don't know what the solution is. I don't exactly know. I've not seen any comprehensive development plans. I don't know if your estimates are correct relative to all the costs of doing all this. But these are all concerns of mine, and like I say, I don't know the solution. Do we not do this annexation, redefine what the annexation should be? I think at least the minimum is you need to take into consideration the problems that the 8 people that live along that 600 foot of gravel road have. You need to communicate a little more to them what's potentially going to happen, and then some solution has to be arrived at. That's my suggestion.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there somebody by the name of George Bill in here that wanted to testify? Okay. What's the wish of the council?
Move the public hearing be closed.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Mr. Zwicker, second by Mr. Prince, that the public meeting be closed. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
And Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Mr.
Yeah,
Cornwall.
it was very interesting testimony. I think we should get to the bottom of it. I guess I'm curious whether it would have to slow down the annexation, but I certainly agree. I can't think of anywhere in Renton where I've seen us, purposefully develop where we subject a private, or not a private gravel road, but a gravel road to, frequent traffic. And I presume we have mechanisms in place that would be triggered by development, which would cure that. But I think the gentleman deserves to know the answer to that soon.
I'll let Angie answer it, but I would assume, just in looking at the map, that there are 2 access points, 152nd Southeast and 156 Southeast, on those 2 different sides. But that, I mean, that would be an issue that certainly would come up if there was a development proposal for that property.
Yeah, and I would just echo Mr. Mayor's comments that at this point, this is really just the annexation that's being proposed. There is no development. I have not seen any development plans. Those estimates are purely based on, in the past, when we've developed at R4 citywide historically, well, not historically, over a period of about 5 or 6 years, what that yielded in terms of its resulting density. And so it's really just a ballpark estimate. And if development was proposed after the annexation, then we would evaluate how that would be configured with our road patterns and all of those sorts of things, and try to manage it at that point in time. But at this point, there's no development proposals whatsoever, and no anticipation of how people would ingress or egress from that area.
And Angie, if a development plan or proposal came in, would all of the impacted neighbors be notified?
Absolutely, yeah, they would have plenty of comment time.
You'd be advised that something was happening, so we could bring this up again as an issue.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Angie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Council?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Mr. Zwicker.
Yeah, I move that we authorize a 60% direct petition to annex, specifying to the property owners that the city's comprehensive plan and land use zoning will be in place.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Mr. Zwicker, seconded by Mr. Prince, that council concur with moving this on to a 60% petition. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Angie. Moving on to the administrative report, Mr. Covington.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, council, a number of items I want to just make sure you're aware of, and also members of the public who might be listening in. Busy summer season, so we've got a lot going on. I want to just let you all know that the Henry Moses Aquatic Center lifeguard Rio Barber, who you might have recognized in any Seafair shots, she was crowned Miss Seafair. Rio is attending the University of Washington, and she's a volunteer for Concerns of Police Survivors and Behind the Badge Foundation. So we are proud that she was selected as Miss Seafair.
Very nice.
Last week, 3 Renton lifeguards participated in the Northwest Regional Lifeguard Championships in Sonoma, California. George Frenier won the Iron Guard competition and the open water swim competition. John Michael won the run, swim, and paddle competition, and Dave Moser won the Iron Guard competition in the 50-plus age division. So this week we have lots of activities. We'll start with Wednesday. The King County Library System is co-sponsoring a free event at Liberty Park from noon to 1 p.m. The children's concert is Brian Vogan and his Good Buddies. And also Wednesday, later in the day, Classical Rejects will be performing at Kid Valley Concert Series at Gene Coulon Memorial Beach Park. Despite the name, they're great to listen to. That starts at 7 p.m. On Thursday, the 8th, the Sunset Area Neighborhood Association will hold their annual picnic beginning at 5:30 p.m. at the Highlands Neighborhood Center, which is located at 800 Edmonds Avenue Northeast. Residents are encouraged to bring their favorite potluck dish and attend the picnic to get to know their immediate and surrounding neighbors and meet city representatives. And then on Friday, the Family Fun and Films movie will be Madagascar 3, sponsored by the Berliner Restaurant and King County Library System. This week's movie is being held at Liberty Park and will be shown at dusk. On Saturday the 10th, Renton Lifeguards will be competing in the annual Lake Washington Lifeguards Challenge. This year's event is held at Madison Park in Seattle. Teams from other jurisdictions compete in endurance events and first aid competitions. And we'll have an Alzheimer's Association Town Hall meeting next Monday, August 12th, from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. at our Senior Activity Center. The moderator is Connie Thompson, Homo 4 TV news anchor. You heard about the National Night Out, so I won't, just a reminder, we've already had information about that. I wanted to let you know about a couple of other events that are happening this weekend. First, this weekend will be the second weekend where we'll be having pile driving activity performed at our airport. The contractor for Boeing's North Bridge replacement project will begin construction activity, that noisy pile driving activity, from 7:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Friday and then begin again at 7 a.m. and go through to 10 p.m. both Saturday and Sunday. So we want to let people know that will be happening. This is again an attempt to try to, it'll be a little bit more intense pain, but it won't be as long lasting if we can let them work continuously through the weekend. Also, for those people who will potentially be boating, the part of the North Boeing Bridge Replacement Project includes installing bubble curtains, which make it unsafe for boaters to pass under the bridge. So we'll be closing the river again during those time periods on Saturday and Sunday for non-motorized boat launch downstream to Lake Washington. And we'll put notices out so people can be aware. And finally, the King County has indicated to us that they'll be performing some maintenance work on the East Side Rail Corridor trestles, which are in Renton soon. I don't have an exact date, but in the next couple of weeks, I suppose. They'll start at May Creek and then they'll move north. So the trestle at May Creek and then the one at Ripley Lane will be the ones that will be affected. Essentially, the crews will be enclosing the trestles in chain link fence, but providing a corridor so people can pass from one end to the other safely. So just to be aware that activity is going on. That is all, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Covington. Next, we'll move on to audience comment. We have 2 people signed up to address the council. When I call your name, please come to the podium, give your name and city of residence for the record, and then you have 5 minutes. And the timer's next to the city clerk. First is John Houston.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. My name is John Houston, City of Renton, longtime Renton resident. I'm here to represent Renton Youth Advocacy Center. I first want to say thank you for, I don't even know where I'm looking at up here, but I want to say thank you and to the City Council members for working with us to get this program going, to get Renton Youth Advocacy Center open. We participated in the neighborhood picnic up in Tiffany Park last week, and it was a nice feeling. It was one of those moments for me where I had to just sit down and think about what we had accomplished, us as a group. I think the Reverend said something about working together, and we've done that. We've worked as a team to get that center open. I was up there today and there was kids all over the park. When's it gonna open? When's it gonna open? So there's people that are interested, the community supporting it. I got to meet some of the council members and one in particular. I work with Ms. Palmer at we mentor at community schools in Renton, and she had me all over the park. She's got so much energy, and I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. And Councilman Taylor and Councilman Prince got to talk with them for a while, and it just feels good. It's a great team that got us going. It wasn't John Houston. It wasn't one person. It was teamwork. So thank you very much. I put, I think, is it up on the board? Is it up? Yes, please, if you can. And I met Mr. Covington also, and it was just nice talking to some people that make decisions in the city of Renton. A city that I think we all love. Like I said, I have long history here in the city, and it's nice to be able to do something to give back, as the Reverend said also. And we're working on that. Our grand opening is September 7th. It's a Saturday, 11 to 1 p.m. And I have a wish list that I'd like to put out to the city, and hopefully we can get some of those things for kids. This is a kids list. It's not some old guy come up with a list what kids need. This is a kids list. And we haven't raised that much money yet, but so hopefully we can get some of these items. Maybe somebody will step up and donate those items. We've got the furniture in the place. It looks great. We've sent out invitations, and so hopefully we'll see you there. Let's see what else. Terry Higashiyama, another woman with lots of energy. I got introduced to so many people, and I'm not very good with names. I don't see faces, but so she introduced me to so many people. I've lived here a long time, and it made me feel like I was new to Renton, that I met so many people. So thank you very much. And the list there, I think there's some game consoles on there and video games, but hopefully somebody will step up and help us out.
If they have anything to send to that address, is that right, John?
Yes. Our website is rentonyac.org, and we're on Facebook also. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. I just want to say too that we were real pleased to be able to work with you on this center. We're trying to be working a little bit outside of the box, and it's worked very well, and you're serving a tremendous need. And so we'll get that list circulated around and see if we can help with some of those items. And I look forward to your opening. I think it's on the 7th.
It's on the 7th, Saturday the 7th.
I'll see you then.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Yes. Thanks.
Next is Alex Zimmerman.
Hi, my name is Alex Zimmerman, and I represent Stand Up America. With your permission, we can use signs every time, because we use the sign everywhere when we speak. I come today to Renton for one particular reason. In this reason, talking about King Country Council Chamber, about King Country Council, who acted, for my understanding, and I live in this location for 25 years, like organized criminal, like a mafia. This is exactly what has become right now to every city around: Renton, Redmond, Bellevue, Seattle, Shoreline, another city. In Spoke, we want what is people listen to us, we want what is council listen to us. King Country Council Chamber have unique situation. This guy have 300 meeting per year. For 400 years, every year 300 meeting. No one meeting open to public comment, like yours, for example. You are super city, you know what is mean, best what is I know. 5 minutes and everybody can speak. It's exactly America, what is we believe and what is we love. You understand about it? King Country Council close everything. So, in King Country Council Chamber, we cannot speak about us problem. We cannot deliver something what is important for city, for businesses, and for people. By definition, it's absurd. By definition, this is absolutely power. So this look like a Chicago in Tory. You know what is in? These people absolutely not touchable. So what is this? Seattle right now look like Chicago? Al Capone in Tories is exactly what is happening right now. So we right now want to go and speak for a few years in King Country Chamber, and these people use sheriff department like a Gestapo. So this have absolutely stupid situation. You know what is mean? When you have right for 200 years ago Constitution, freedom of speech, and this are common simple business. Because when you have different opinion, somebody will be listened to you. Is this important to every normal civilized businesses? It's never happened in King Country Council Chamber. Never. Is this exactly what is we have right now? Stand Up America come to every city right now and start to talk to you so you can stand up together with us and change this absolutely critical criminal situation. It's very important. King Country Council make $135,000 per year, have 3 assistants. 180 days per year, these people not working. In this month, all of it go for vacation. Guys, we have experience with Ford. He did this before when all company go to vacation. But King Country Council Chamber is as employee. It's supposed to be working like every city doing this. You know what this mean? Almost 1 month vacation is a nightmare. 180 days per year, these people not working. It don't give a chance to speak. Never can I speak chance about accountability. It's have many committee, and I want from this committee, accountability committee. We cannot talk about government accountability in King Country Council Chamber, who operate with $8 billion. And 2 million people, and everybody in King Country from these 2 million people involved in this business. It reflects everybody. $8 billion what operate 9 people without ever somebody can talk and speak about this. It's us money. It's a business money. It's a people money. It's a taxpayer money. It's my money. How is this possible? So I have a brokers who operate with $8 billion and I cannot ask him every day, like a normal business, what's happened with my money? I understand situation very strange, unique. You don't have analogy. It's a problem what is we have. So we come today right now, I come today right now, like represent Stand Up America, and talk to you because we need to change the situation totally. Don Constantine, King Country executive, for 4 years never have one Q&A. How is this possible? A manager who we elect for 4 years don't have one Q&A. Nobody can give him question, and he cannot answer. He don't want answer. For this we have a totally corrupt organization, King Country Council, what is, we need stopping. Is this only one way? And everybody supposed to be involved in this business because it's good for everybody, without exception. It's only 9 people, 19 Country Council who don't want this, want keep this status quo. It's a nightmare what has happened right now. Guys, we need to understand we're falling and falling and falling. And who lose in this situation? Minority, poor people. 50% right now, totally poor, another 30% are most poor, 80% American right now in deep hole. If we cannot speak about $8 billion, us money, it's absurd by definition. So we come right now, I come represent Stand Up America. I want to talk to you about this because it's a serious problem what is we have. You need to stand up, guys, together with us, something doing about this. Need open door, need open this Pandora box who closed for 4 years. It's a nightmare. $200 million for arena. When 1,000 people die and 10,000 homeless. Every year only in Seattle, every day.
Mr. Senator, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but your 5 minutes are up.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's 5 minutes?
Yes.
Yes, thank you very much. I see you next month.
Okay,
thank you very much. Bye.
Okay, Council, we're moving on to the consent agenda. We have 14 items for your consideration. Are there any items you'd like pulled for discussion?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Ms. Breyer.
I'd like to pull item I.
Okay. Mr. Mayor,
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, Mr. Corman, go ahead.
you didn't recognize me with the
You
glasses?
had your glasses on?
Yeah. I'd like to move approval of the consent agenda minus item I.
Second. Okay, it's been moved by Mr. Corman, seconded by Mr. Taylor, that council concur with the consent agenda minus item I. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Ms. Breyer.
Yes, item I is a waiver for golf course fees that we traditionally give to all the area high schools, which include Renton, Hazen, Lindbergh, and Liberty. And rather than having this referred to the Finance Committee, I'd like to go with a council concur to waive these fees.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Ms. Breyer, second by Mr. Taylor, that council concur with the community service request for the golf course green fee waiver. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to unfinished business, Mr. Corman.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Taylor?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, Community Services has a couple of committee reports.
Community Services Committee report, Versello Homeowners Association, second round grant project applications. The Community Services Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to approve the Versello Homeowners Association 2013 second round neighborhood project grant application to improve the Versello neighborhood trail system. The committee further recommends that council authorize expenditures from the neighborhood program funds of up to $5,475 for this project. This is signed by the committee chair and member.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Taylor.
I move that council concur with the Community Services Committee report.
Second.
Been moved by Mr. Taylor, seconded by Mr. Prince, that council concur with the Community Services Committee report. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Community Services Committee report, Cedar River Trail lot line adjustment. The Community Services Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to accept Cedar River Trail right-of-way property from the Washington State Department of Transportation. The property is approximately 100 feet in width and is located east of I-405, commencing at a point in line with the Cedar River Park and Stoneway property line, extending eastward to the Cedar River Trail trestle bridge over near Cedar View Park. Funding for the purchase would be from the Community and Economic Development Professional Services budget, approximately $2,000, and the voter-approved 2007 King County Parks Expansion Levy funding, approximately $15,000. The committee further recommends that the mayor and city clerk be authorized to execute the lot line adjustment record of survey drawings, and that the drawings be submitted to King County along with the quitclaim deed for recording and transfer of title. The committee further recommends that upon project completion, the budget be adjusted to reallocate unexpended funds back to the 2007 King County Parks Expansion Levy Fund. This is signed by the committee chair and
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Taylor.
I move that council concur with the Community Services Committee report.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Taylor, seconded by Mr. Prince, that council concur with the Community Services Committee report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
That is all, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Zwicker.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Ms. Breyer?
Yes, there's a Finance Committee report.
Finance Committee report, approval of claims and payroll vouchers. The Finance Committee approves for payment on August 5th, 2013, claim vouchers 322-435 through 322-810, 5 wire transfers and 1 payroll run with benefit withholding payments totaling $7,292,347.50, and payroll vouchers include 821 direct deposits and 129 payroll checks totaling $1,648,435.79. This is signed by the committee chair, vice chair, and member.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Ms. Breyer.
that council concur with the Finance Committee report.
Second?
Been moved by Ms. Breyer, seconded by Mr. Person, that council concur with the Finance Committee report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Finance Committee report, 2013 second quarter budget amendment ordinance. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to approve an amendment in the 2013-2014 budget appropriations in the amount of $8,292,577, with the total amended budget to be $519,076,393 for the biennium. The committee further recommends that the ordinance regarding this matter be presented for first reading. This is signed by the 3 committee members.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Zwicker.
would the council concur in the Finance Committee report?
Sorry.
Second?
It's been moved by Mr. Zwicker, seconded by Mr. Person, that council concur with the Finance Committee report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Mr. Prince.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Person.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. And Ms. Palmer?
Yes, I have 2 committee reports.
Transportation Aviation Committee report, Boeing lease amendment number 2. The Transportation Aviation Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to approve the lease rate increase for the Boeing lease, LAG 10001, using the Consumer Price Index Urban, and authorize the mayor and city clerk to sign amendment number 2 to the lease amendment. This is signed by the 3 committee members.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Ms. Palmer.
I move that council concur with the committee report.
Second.
It's been moved by Ms. Palmer, seconded by Mr. Taylor, that council concur with the Transportation Aviation Committee report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Transportation Aviation Committee report, Boeing lease amendment number 4. The Transportation Aviation Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to approve an increase in the leased area for the Boeing Company to add the 760 and 770 parcels, and authorize the mayor and city clerk to sign the amendment. This is signed by the 3 committee members.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Ms. Palmer.
I move that council concur with the committee report.
Second.
It's been moved by Ms. Palmer, seconded by Mr. Taylor, that council concur with the Transportation Aviation Committee report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Mr. Mayor, just as a little bit of explanation for what this is, we had a business go out of business at the Renton Airport, freeing up these 2 parcels, which comes at very good timing for the Boeing company needing this space as they begin to roll out in a couple of years the 737 MAX. So they will probably be subleasing it to someone else on the airport when they're not using it, but it gives them the assurance that they have space to do what they need to do. So I think it's a win-win.
That's great. Thanks for the explanation.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to resolutions and ordinances. We have one ordinance for first reading.
This ordinance regards the second quarter budget amendment. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, amending the City of Renton fiscal years 2013-2014 biennial budget as adopted by ordinance number 5682 and thereafter amended by ordinance number 5686 in the amount of $8,292,577.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Person.
I move the ordinance be placed as second and final reading at the next council meeting.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Person, seconded by Mr. Corman, that this ordinance be placed on second and final reading at the next council meeting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, moving on to new business, Mr. Corman.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, just one announcement tonight. It's for a Committee of the Whole meeting on August 12th, 2013, at 6:00 p.m. in the 7th floor conferencing center. The Committee of the Whole will be taking up 2 issues. First is regional issues, and that is a briefing only. And then the second item is emerging issues in economic development. That's also briefing only, and that's all.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Taylor.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the Community Services Committee will be meeting on August the 12th at 4:30 p.m. in the council conference room, and we will be discussing Renton Youth Advocacy Center lease. And that is all, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thanks,
Mr. Mayor?
Taylor. Yes, Ms. Palmer.
Since Finance Committee is being canceled, may I suggest that we bump the community services to 5?
You mean 5:30?
Well, 5:30 is fine.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry,
Oh, 5.
utilities. No, finances, yes, finances. Thank you.
Yes, we are going to cancel
Right,
finance.
yeah, so yes, and I'm very okay with that.
So, Mr. Taylor, you want that to be at 5 o'clock or
Yes,
5:30?
5:30 would be perfect.
Good idea.
5:30, okay.
Thank you,
All right,
Mr. Taylor.
We took care of that item tonight, didn't we? Yep.
Sorry, I got-
Okay, Mr. Zwicker.
No new business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Ms. Breyer?
Well, it sounds like you've canceled my meeting, so that's, so there'll be no finance committee next week.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Prince?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, on the 12th at 5 o'clock, we will have a Utilities Committee meeting. We'll be discussing emergent issues in public works, and that's a briefing only. And then one last thing, I just want to give a special shout out to the students and performers in the Summer Teen Musical. Had an opportunity to go there this past weekend. In fact, I think the first Summer Teen Musical I went to, Councilmember Palmer's son was participating in, and they performed their hearts out this weekend. So just wanted to give them a special little shout out.
Great, thank you, Mr. Prince. Mr. Person?
No new business.
Okay, Ms. Palmer?
Well, you can tell we've been off for 2 weeks. Okay, the Transportation Aviation Committee will meet this Thursday, August 8th at 4 o'clock, and there are 5 items on the agenda. The first is emerging issues in transportation. The second is the I-405 North Renton Interchange Turnback Agreement with WashDOT. Third is Airport Lower Blast Fence Project Supplement Agreement. Fourth item is Boeing Lease Amendment 3. And fifth is the bid award for the East Side GA apron rehabilitation.
So that will be a busy meeting.
It will be.
Thank you, Ms. Palmer.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to audience comment. Is there anybody who would like to address the council? What's the wish of the council?
Move we adjourn?
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Person, seconded by Mr. Corman that we adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned.